I call to order the February 9th, 2026 Henderson County Board of Public Education meeting. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Guard, hold, post, ready, cut, ready, ace, freeze, arms.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order, arms. Ready, ace, forward, march. Forward, march.
That was the North Henderson JROTC Air Force under the direction of Colonel Eric Runquist. Did I say that right? Okay. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. You may be seated. Chair will entertain a motion for agenda approval.
Move that we approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Staff and student recognitions. Mr. Garrett.
Madam Chair, members of the board, it's always a highlight to get up and celebrate our people. We got a pretty large group of some esteemed teachers that we're going to kick off with. So I'm going to call on Dr. Shannon Marlowe to talk about our newly minted nationally board certified teachers.
Thank you. For those of you who don't know, national boards is something that teachers choose to do. It's not a requirement. It is a lot of extra work, but it is validating for teachers who go through the process. And one of the things that I think teachers have a hard time with is slowing down to reflect, because they're always going. But national boards makes you do that. It's built into the process. And as a result, we have a number of brand new national board teachers, and I'm really excited to introduce them today. So if they will just come up when I call their name, and then they get to come over and have their picture made. So first is Jessica Jenkins. Oh, I love it.
Hard to follow.
While they're doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and call our next person up, Caitlin Gearing.
All right, Clear Creek, you need to hype them too.
Oh, wow. So cool.
We do have a few people who were not able to be with us this evening, but I'm going to call their names because their work should be recognized, and chances are they're probably still in their classroom. So Shelby Lewis is not with us this evening. Kelly Kenny is not with us this evening. But I'm hoping LaTanya Kennedy is. not sure. I have Deanna Hall, but I don't know if she's here. Anybody? Okay, so Deanna's not with us this evening. And Trevor Reesing. Amy Lindsay. But I'm hoping that Nikki Grasso is. And I heard at the last minute that Katie Warren would not be able to join us this evening. Now, these people did this for the first time. We also have a group of people who enjoyed it so much first time around that they have done what they call maintenance of certificate or maintenance of certification. And that means that they had to renew. So I'm going to call these folks. Hopefully they're here, but if not, please show them some love. Tracy Mumford. Lynn Fender. I know she's back here behind me. Cindy Haney. Cody Merriman. Joanne Rickert. All right. And one more time, let's say thanks to all of our national board and newly recertified teachers. So our next recognition this evening is for Hendersonville High School. So as you know, high school students can take AP courses. Well, there are actually studies that have been done that show that there is a correlation between AP tests and college outcomes. And for schools that are able to meet certain key indicators, certain percentages of kids that take certain AP classes, and the scores that they earn in those, they can actually get on the AP honor roll, which is a national recognition. And last year, Hendersonville High School became what they call a bronze school, which means that 2024, they became a bronze school, which means that they were moving toward those key indicators and had exceeded a lot of the schools. For this past year, in 2025, they became a silver school. So they are a silver AP honor school. And you can see there, that means that 56% of that class of 2025, that cohort, took at least one AP course, which puts them in the silver status. The other two, they actually hit gold status, but it looks like it reverts back to the lowest one that they hit. So 47% of their students earned a score of 3 or higher on an AP exam, and then 11% completed 5 AP courses during high school, including one in 9th or 10th grade. So we would like to recognize Hendersonville High School this evening and on this achievement for being on the AP honor roll as a silver school. All right. So we're going to continue talking about high schools for a second. You might remember that when we shared some data previously, we talked about Henderson County had hit one of our highest graduation rates ever. In fact, the highest in our last memorable years. At 93.6% of our students graduated. Not only that, the state has now started looking at graduation rates for schools, and they look at the cohort of students that are graduating. And when they look at those students, Henderson County is in the top 10 of highest graduation rates. And so they look at them by graduation rates for the cohorts of that year. And we are considered a medium-sized district because we had a little over 1,000 students graduate last year. So that being said, I'm going to ask Scott Moore, who's our high school director, to come up and accept this. And actually, any of our high school principals are welcome to come up and have their picture made as well. So not only is that for the highest graduation rate for a medium school district, but also falling in that top 10 school district for highest graduation rate.
One thing to add on the graduation rate, we're the only medium or large district in the top 10, and the rest of those are small districts that have earned that top 10 status. So very proud of that fact and very proud of the work our high school principals have done, but also our middle schools and our elementary schools and all the teachers, because they start out in kindergarten and they make their way through. So getting that love of learning when they start school, keeping that learn of loving through middle school, which is what I taught. So that's always interesting. And then making sure we drive it home and land them where they need to be in high school. So that's really a district celebration, and we're glad to see everyone earn that. And that is our celebrations for this month.
Thank you. Okay, next on our agenda, we have school features.
So I have heard that this is the part of the evening that most people absolutely love, and with good reason. So what I'm going to do tonight is to introduce you to 3 principals who are going to introduce their teams, because they're getting better and better at this as we go along. They've brought students, teachers, all kinds of fun stuff. And really the theme for this evening is about students taking the lead in their school, empowering themselves, and finding ways to bring joy to others. So we have 3 schools joining us this evening. One is from Fletcher Elementary, so Mr. Matthew Haney's going to come up in just a minute. When they are finished, then Mr. John Hart will come up from Glenn C. Marlowe, and then Mr. Chad Otten from Mills River Elementary. So Mr. Haney?
I just wanted to thank the board for giving the spotlight to our elementary schools, and especially Fletcher Elementary. I looked around at what was going on in our school, and I couldn't think of a better thing to spotlight. Ms. Fender's already been introduced to you guys, but she is our AIG teacher. She also works over at Etowah Elementary. But this is something that has grown from you, from the beginning, and all of these clubs that are going on at some of the schools in the county. But we brought along 2 young, lovely ladies that are going to talk about their experiences with our Glow Club. So thank you again.
Oops, sorry. Thank you. Do I need to touch it? Okay. Great.
So good afternoon. I'm Lynn Fender, and I serve as the AIG specialist at Fletcher Elementary, and we're honored to share about GLOW, a character and leadership building program for our 5th grade girls. This program is similar to GYM and was reintroduced in our school 3 years ago when we, along with Glenn Marlowe's GLOW program, received a mini grant from Women United. Our school and PTO have also been wonderful sponsors, purchasing snacks and t-shirts. Each year, 6 to 8 of our teachers dedicate their time to prepare and facilitate amazing, life-changing lessons for our girls. To give you a first-hand look at our program, I'd like to introduce 3 of our 20 girls from this year's program, Jade, Bhumika, and Ivana.
Hello, my name's Jade. Our program GLOW stands for Girls Leading Our World. It's a 10-week program where we focus on being the best woman we can be. We explored character traits that could help us through life. For example, we learned about confidence from Miss Gash and poise and grit from Marlboro and boot camp instructors. Our GLOW teachers taught us how to understand ourselves and our friends in everyday life. We learned the importance of creating long-lasting friendships that will last our whole lives. We also had a lot of fun. We ate snacks, listened to music, and we made friendship bracelets. decorated superhero capes with the things we want us to remember from the lessons. We wrote poems about confidence. Our big project was creating our dream boards about our future. So here are a few examples. Mine shows things I want to accomplish in my life, like I wanted to be a singer and a soccer player. We are excited to share these with our families, these dream boards with our families at our Glow Showcase celebration. Glow is an experience we will never forget, like working out with Burn Boot Camp. It wasn't easy, but it was still really fun. Glow was a wonderful experience in our lives. It was fun to draw and write things we always wanted to remember on our superhero capes. It was even more fun to wear them and take pictures in them with our friends. Glow was fun because we got to make friendship bracelets. We will never forget the friends we made. Thank you for your time. Any questions?
So young ladies, show the crowds your dream boards. Turn around, show them. Wonderful job.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Just like Mr. Haney, I want to thank you for allowing us this opportunity to showcase the great things that are going on in our schools. And I am here today to introduce the Marlowe Kiwanis Kids. This is our K-Kids Club under the direction of Miss Jan Clark, Miss Lisa Malcolm-Prey, Miss Hadley McCutcheon, and Miss Kieran Dalton. These students behind me are going to take this presentation, but just know how this club has grown to numbers that we exceeded our expectations. We, I think, are around 85 to 86 club members in our Marlowe K-Kids this year, and it has been incredible. And I will pass the mic to Miss Presley Smith, our president, and take it away.
Hi, I'm Presley Smith, the current president of the K-Kids organization at Quincy Morrow Elementary. K-Kids is a student-led organization that started in 2016. We have one of our largest groups this year, with 75 students. K-Kids is an important organization in elementary schools because it helps kids learn how to care about others in our community. It gives us chances to help lead and work together as a team.
K-Kids is open for students in 3rd grade through 5th grade. We have 4 staff advisors and a representative from each grade level. We meet the first and third Thursday of each month from 3 to 4:15. We divide into 4 groups, with each group assigned a project to complete with an officer leading the group. Through hands-on service learning projects, students learn the value of kindness, responsibility, teamwork, and leadership. K-Kids members identify needs, plan and carry out service projects, and reflect on how their actions make a difference at Glen Marlowe. We sponsor a soup drive for I Am, collect socks for the Salvation Army, raise money for an honor air flight, create teacher appreciation activities, and host community-wide Veterans Day program. K-Kids helps kids like me learn how to be leaders. We get to help choose service projects and work together to make our school and community better. Being in K-Kids teaches us to communicate, share ideas, and solve problems as a team. We also learn that leadership means helping others and setting a good example. K-Kids helps us build confidence and show us that even kids can make a big difference.
K-Kids helps us build good charactership by taking us to kind, responsible, and respectful. We learn how to help others and work together even when things are challenging. Being in K-Kids gives us an opportunity to meet community leaders and share how good characters and leadership skills help in their jobs. K-Kids shows us how our actions matter and how doing the right thing can make a difference.
The K-Kids organization is important in elementary schools because it helps kids learn how to take care about take care about others and our community. Every person in K-Kids matters and plays a big part in making each project a goal of success. We also learned that even small acts of service like caroling and making cards for assisted living residents can make a big difference. Being in K-Kids helps us grow into better students, better friends, and future leaders.
So K-Kids is one of the first after-school things I got to see at our elementary schools when I got to the district about 4 years ago. And I'm just was so impressed then and so impressed to see the growth. So thank you for coming and sharing about K-Kids.
Mr. Garrett, board members, my name is Chad Otten. I'm the principal of Mills River Elementary School. Thank you so much for having us today. It's my pleasure today to introduce Ms. Erin Stachura, our Playhouse director. We have had a Playhouse at Mills River since before I got there, so that's been going on 13, 14 years for a long time. But 4 years ago, we unexpectedly lost our music teacher, so we knew we had someone in-house that had a passion for drama. So we've actually added a drama class to replace our music class, and that has been so amazing. Talk about a really unique thing of kids finding their voice every year when we do the play. But today I got the opportunity, just happened to be in observing Ms. Stachura's class today and to watch kids get up and perform that surprise you that they're the ones that do that every year is amazing to me. So I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Erin Stachura.
Hello. I'd like to share a little bit about who we are and what we do. In addition to teaching drama as a special for the last 4 years, this year will be my 10th year of directing kids musicals for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade students in an after-school program called MRS Playhouse. Students not only perform in our shows, but they run the music, they run the mics, and are backstage. Our program inspires students to pursue theater through their high school, college, and adult careers. The program also reaches more than just theater students. Most of our past performers go on to become amazing athletes, technology specialists, teachers, and so much more. Theater reaches the entire spectrum, and I am honored to have a front row seat to see it all. Thank you for your support, and know that it is and will continue to reach our entire community in ways that we may not even see yet. So I'd like to introduce one of our 5th graders, Olivia McCraw. She is a 5th grader who has had drama as a special for the last 4 years and has earned lead roles in our productions of The Lion King, Pirates Past Noon, and this year's production of Frozen.
Hi, I'm Olivia. Thank you for having us here at your board meeting. I've loved being a part of the MRS school production because it has helped me build the confidence to get up on the stage and perform with all my friends and the other people around me. I've made new friends and learned to work hard with others to accomplish amazing things. It has been a lot of hard work, and I've been blessed to have Ms. Stachura teaching and directing me. I will always remember my elementary school plays and drama classes with Ms. Stachura. Thank you.
Thank you, Olivia. And now just a little something to show you what these talented elementary students can do. Just a side note, because of the winter weather, they have had one rehearsal, and we just found out that we are not allowed to present our music to you, even though we have a license, because we are off-site. So enjoy it a cappella, and it is beautiful.
Yeah, we're.
That would be good. Yeah, do y'all want to go on the stage?
Oh, they would love to.
There you go. That's the best spot.
Na 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 hey na 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 hi ya na Rufus. Our tale begins a long time ago. In the kingdom of Arendelle. On a beautiful summer day. Once there was a family beloved by all. A king, a queen, 2 princesses, and the story starts when they were small. 1, 2, 3 together, clap together, snap together, you and me together, knees together, freeze together, up or down together, princess crown together, always be together, you and me. Once there was a family with secrets to keep, as rulers in a land where respect for the crown runs deep. Freeze my butt! Girls, you know Elsa's magic must stay secret. Let the sun shine on, let our hearts be light, like this perfect, happy, shiny summer day. Let the sun shine on, 'cause it's all alright. So together we can keep the storm at bay. Let the sun shine on, Arendelle. Let the crown be strong and let your love be true. Let the daughters fair, who we love so well, we will look to your na na hey na na he na.
The school's gonna step their game up.
I know.
And I just want to say, if you have never been to a Mills River production, get your tickets as soon as they go on sale because she will sell out every single night because these kids are amazing.
So thank you for coming and sharing that. That's going to be the highlight of the meeting, I think. So appreciate y'all taking the time to entertain us.
Any more exciting?
That was so good. Okay, so next on our agenda is board member observations.
I know we didn't have any, but we have had a lot going on in our schools, so I thought you'd humor me since we didn't have any other observations going on. So, want to highlight just a couple things so you guys know, because if you're not following folks' Facebook page and stuff like that, you may not, and it's impressive. East Henderson High School, their indoor track team is headed to the States. Wrestling, they've actually had 3 that won first place in the Mountain 8 Conference, and they've had 2 that got second and 1 that had third. And then they had 3 students who actually got their 100th varsity win, so I thought that was pretty cool. Swimming, Megan Porter's headed to the state. Basketball, men's basketball is currently first place in the conference, and they are impressive. If you haven't gone to watch them, go watch East Henderson. Very good. And the band, can't forget them. 3 members made it to the Western North Carolina All-Conference team. Sorry, y'all having to bear with me, because it's impressive. It's impressive. Wrestling for Hendersonville, same. Alicia Ray's got her 100th win, which is nice, and they've got several going to state. Same for swimming, and then basketball, men and women's basketball are leading their conference, so they all start their tournaments this week. Same for North Henderson, they're starting their conference tournaments, and wrestling will actually be hosting the first and second rounds of the state dual tournaments, so that's good. West Henderson High School, the men's team now is back-to-back conference champions, and the women's won that this year. And they are headed to state this Thursday and Friday. And this is impressive. The band had 23 members try out for the All-State band, and they're waiting to hear who gets to go to state. So 23 actually made it. I'm sorry, they didn't try out, they made it. Girls basketball actually finished second in the conference, and they'll be starting that on Thursday. Innovative High School, I said, listen, I know you don't have sports, but I know you have something. And they said, absolutely. Mock trials, we took the best attorney and the best witness.
Nice.
So I thought that was pretty good. Getting into our middle schools, Apple Valley, both have gone to the second round of the conference tournament. And in wrestling, 10 of their wrestlers actually made it to the conference tournament. 3 got second and 1 got third. Flat Rock Middle has an impressive wrestling team. They had a strong representation at conference. Frank Trevor and Ian Schultz actually won conference in their respective weights. They had 2 that won second, 1 that won third, 1 that won fourth, and Trevor Frank is now the junior high state champion. So I think that's pretty cool. Of their band, 4 of their members actually made all-district band. Hendersonville Middle Wrestling sent 15 kids to conference, and 4 of them got 4th place. And in band, 7 out of 7 actually made the all-district team, and 2 will compete for the all-state team. And she said, give me a shout out. Next Thursday is actually the annual 9th Avenue Day, so make sure you go to that. Rugby Middle Math Counts team won first in the Western Region competition, and they'll compete at state March 27th. And their band, my goodness, they actually had a Western North Carolina record. It's also a school record. 43 students got selected for the Western North Carolina Bandmasters All-District. And when you look at what you guys have done in previous boards to make sure all these schools have instruments, I think that plays a huge role in that. So that's awesome. 12 of those students will actually be trying out for the North Carolina All-State Band. So big congratulations to Mr. Smith on that. Boys playoffs, they're actually going on tonight. So if you leave here and want to go somewhere, go watch the basketball teams. Boys are seated first, girls are second. And a shout out to Coach Brad Swangham, who just got his 200th win December 15th. Wrestling also did well. They had 16 of 18 positions qualify for conference, and Cameron Morris actually won the heavyweight division and represented rugby in the state tournament. And Bruce Drysdale got first place in the Kiwanis Spelling Bee, with Sugarloaf coming in second. So congratulations to all our teams, academically and sports.
And that ball game tonight is at rugby.
Is it, to be sure, is it at rugby? Yes. So it is at rugby. Unfortunately, for most conference for basketball, that's going to be in Smoky Mountain. So we'll be traveling. You can come too.
I just wanted to add, we were talking about our graduates this past year. I had the privilege of watching one of our West Henderson High School graduates who was going on to the Marine Corps. And 2 weekends ago, I had the privilege of getting to watch him graduate on Parris Island. And it gave me a new appreciation for I come from a very long background of military family, but I have never been to a ceremony like that. And I've never been able to see one graduate. And to be able to watch him graduate and see what this was just the men in his division, being able to see them go from JROTC cadets all the way through and seeing where he's headed and getting to talk to him and find out how ROTC helped him along the way and the things that it did to help him and the things that maybe it didn't help him, but getting kind of an understanding of that was it was a unique opportunity for me, and I really appreciated getting to do that. So just thank you to those who work within our schools every day to help teach these young men and women and help prepare them for whether or not they go on to the military or whether they don't. But it was a privilege to get to see him graduate from boot camp, and he is now one of our United States Marines. So thank you to all of those that work hard with our students and help keep these programs going.
Anybody else? I just wanted to take a minute to thank our maintenance and transportation staff and really the custodial staff, at our principals, I guess our guys here probably got up an hour early or something and did something over this weather, made some phone calls. We just have had so many people in the school system that have done over and above by taking care of our campuses and getting them back ready for students after the past couple of weeks, and many, many miles ridden on the roads. And I just want to say how much I appreciate for them for all that they've done. So next on our agenda is public comment, and I'll just get them in the order they were turned in. First is Robert Cannon. Reminder, it's 3 minutes. And after Mr. Cannon will be Ms. Donna Owens.
(2026) is an election year, and the decisions that voters make will affect public schools. In particular, the people elected to serve as Henderson County Commissioners and those elected to serve in the North Carolina Legislature will make decisions that directly affect this school system. I speak on behalf of Henderson County Public School Strong. We believe it is important for voters to hear how candidates for those offices address issues affecting public education. That's why we invited all candidates for Henderson County Commissioner, and for the North Carolina House of Representatives seats 113 and 117, to participate in a candidate forum on public education. The forum was to be held last Wednesday, but the threat of inclement weather forced its cancellation. 8 candidates had agreed to participate in the forum, and a 9th submitted a statement to be read. When the forum was canceled, Public School Strong asked these candidates to respond in writing by Sunday evening to several questions. Our questions focused on issues that confront the Board of Public Education, such as teacher salaries and funding for the child nutrition program. Several candidates responded. Public School Strong has compiled those responses. We're happy to provide that document to anyone who wants to know the candidates' views as we approach the upcoming primary elections. To receive the document, please email us at hcpssk12@gmail.com. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Owens?
I read from God's Word in the book of Deuteronomy. This is a call of wholehearted commitment. These are all the commands, the laws, and regulations that the Lord your God told me to teach you, so you may obey them in the land you are about to enter and occupy. And so you and your children and grandchildren might fear the Lord your God as long as you live. If you obey all the laws and commands, you will enjoy long life. Listen closely, Israel, to everything I say. Be careful to obey. Then all will go well for you, and you will have many children in the land flowing with milk and honey, just as the Lord your God of your ancestors promised you. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord alone. And you must love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your strength. And you must commit yourself wholeheartedly to these commands I am giving you today. Repeat them again and again to your children. Talk about them when you are at your home and when you are away on a journey, when you are lying down, and when you are getting up again. Tie them to your hands as a reminder and wear them on your forehead. Write them on the doorpost of your house and on your gates. You must diligently obey the commands of the Lord your God, all the stipulations and laws he has given you. Do what is right in the Lord's sight, so all will go well with you. Understand, therefore, that the Lord your God is indeed God. He is a faithful God who keeps his covenant for thousands of generations and constantly loves those who love him and obey his commandments. But he does not hesitate to punish and destroy those who hate him. Therefore, obey all the commandments, laws, and regulations I am giving to you today. A question: what are we telling our children? Is it okay to pick and choose which laws to obey? We live in a society today where that seems to be the cry. Are we headed toward a lawless society where each person or group makes laws and regulations to their own pleasing, where there is no foundational laws and regulations to be adhered to consistently? There is confusion and chaos, this leading to unrest and lack of peace. When we follow God's commands, his laws, his regulation, his promise to us is peace and prosperity to us and to our children. What condition is our society that we're leaving for our children? Will they enjoy peace and prosperity from God's hand, or a society of turbulence and confusion that we have left them? Don't we owe them better? Don't we owe them the best? Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Marsteller?
I ask you to forgive the looks of my dog. He hasn't been to the groomer because of the weather and so forth. And he oh my. Anyway, he's a mess. So apparently I am too. Thank you so much for letting us come and speak to you, because it's so important that we can let you know how much we really appreciate every one of you for giving your time. I know you don't make a lot of money doing this, and it takes up things inside of you and maybe away from your family. But thank you. We appreciate that so much. And I know there are things that I can't understand because I'm not behind the doors when you have meetings, but I'm praying for you every night that you would have the insight to do what is best, not what's good. Do what's best for the kids. Think about the after-school programs that are, I just love them. That was such a wonderful show of positive things that are happening for our children. And I want to, Mom and Dad are so busy keeping food on the table and clothes on the kids' back because it's expensive and it's hard to get what you need in the home and then come to a meeting like we have here to express yourself. So it's kind of left up to senior citizens like ourselves, myself, not you guys. And so we come to you with wisdom and with confusion. In my day, we knew boys and girls. Nowadays, it's what? On my doctor's thing, it said male, female, and other. I mean, I was just shocked. I mean, I'm old. This does not happen. And so you say, well, this is the new thing. New isn't always better. Matter of fact, the word that was read is old. And that is truth. I don't care what you are. I don't care how awful, how good, how whatever you are loved. And that's why I have to love you. There's some I don't like, but I do love everybody. And I do the best of my ability. And I would help you out of any situation that was moral and anything that I could do for you, I would, because that's what we're supposed to do. We help and hold each other up, and we encourage each other. I'm not here to tell you how to vote. I'm asking you to put the teachers and principals, looks like you've done a pretty good job. You can always improve. And do things like that would encourage our children how to think, not what to think. And that's a big thing that the Lord has laid on my heart. Teach our kids how to think. Is some of the things they're asked to believe are crazy. And I just think thank you very much. I've enjoyed talking to you.
Sue Bradburn.
Thank you all for giving me your time. I'd like to read a few verses out of the Bible. The first one is Psalm 112. Praise the Lord. How joyful are those who fear the Lord and delight in obeying his commands. Their children will be successful everywhere. An entire generation of godly people will be blessed. They themselves will be wealthy, and their good deeds will last forever. Light shines in the darkness for the godly. They are generous, compassionate, and righteous. Good comes to those who lend money generously and conduct their business fairly. Such people will not be overcome by evil. Those are righteous will be long remembered. They do not fear bad news. They confidently trust the Lord to care for them. Confidently. They are confident and fearless and can face their foes triumphantly. They share freely and give generously to those in need. Their good deeds will be remembered forever. They will have influence and honor. And the wicked will see this and be infuriated. They will grind their teeth in anger, and they will slink away, their hopes thwarted. The next thing I'd like to read for you is out of Proverbs 15, 1 through 11. A gentle answer deflects anger, but harsh words make tempers flare. The tongue of the wise makes knowledge appealing, but the mouth of a fool belches out foolishness. The Lord is watching everywhere, keeping his eye on both the evil and the good. Gentle words are a tree of life. A deceitful tongue crushes the spirit. Only a fool despises a parent's discipline. Whoever learns from correction is wise. There is treasure in the house of the godly, but the earnings of the wicked bring trouble. The lips of the wise give good advice. The heart of the fool has none to give. The Lord detests the sacrifice of the wicked, but he delights in the prayers of the upright. The Lord detests the ways of the wicked, but he loves those who pursue godliness. Whoever abandons the right path will be severely disciplined. Whoever hates correction will die. Even death and destruction hold no secrets from the Lord. How much more does he know the human heart? Thank you all for your time.
Thank you. Carol Cannon. As if I didn't want to hear your story. She graciously wrote me a note that she would give up her time if we had too many people.
Well, recently I picked up this book at the local library. It's by Bakari Sellers, a young black man from Bamberg, South Carolina. And Robert and I lived in Bamberg County for 6 years, so we met Bakari on several occasions. And the title of the book is, Who Are Your People? Whoops, I took my time. And that's a common question in South Carolina when you meet someone. Where are you from? And who are your people? And so the book started me thinking, as an American, who are my people? Here are some of my people. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and Phyllis Wheatley. Abraham Lincoln, Robert E. Lee, Sojourner Truth. Donald Trump, Bakari Obama, Dwight Eisenhower. Marco Rubio, Condoleezza Rice, Colin Powell. John Roberts, Sonia Sotomayor, Thurgood Marshall. John Glenn, Ronald McNair, Christina Koch. Billy Graham, Willie Barber, Pope Leo XIV, Michael Jordan, Cooper Flagg, Aja Wilson, Stevie Wonder, Bad Bunny, Dolly Parton, John Steinbeck, Toni Morrison, Jerry Kraft. As an American, who are your people? All the persons I named are our people. Black, white, or brown, male or female, young or old, conservative or liberal, dead or living. All of their stories are part of our story as Americans. They have shaped who we are. We may applaud some of their deeds. We may deplore some of their actions. Nonetheless, it is important for us to know the history of all of them. And it is also important for our students to learn their stories as well. Therefore, I encourage you to support our teachers to include the stories of lesser-known people, of color, and of women, as well as of white men. Not just in Black History Month, this month, but throughout the year. And this helps our students experience the richness of these great United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you. Joe Elliott.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
It is February 26, 2026, and we still do not have a state budget, a budget that was due July 1st, 2025. If news accounts are to be believed, the General Assembly does not even expect to publicly address the issue until April. So our teachers, staff, and our support personnel all continue to be completely disrespected by the majority party in Raleigh. They make the assumption that their gross incompetence will be rewarded, not punished, come November. They also make the assumption that you and other school boards around the state will honor tribal loyalty instead of speaking out publicly to demand decency and justice for our schools and our kids. We are now 50th in per capita spending on our public schools. I simply cannot wrap my brain around the terrible meaning of that data point. Do you think so little of our teachers, our staffs, and our kids? Do they have so little value to you that you cannot raise your voices on behalf of our kids? And now we have yet another potential assault on our public schools. One of the provisions of the wildly inappropriately named One Big Beautiful Bill is a nationwide school voucher scheme to redirect federal tax dollars to private schools and to leave public schools across the country with fewer resources that will precipitate deeper budget cuts. In North Carolina, the legislature passed H. Bill 87, which requires the state to adopt the federal voucher program. Under the bill, private schools and religious institutions will receive public resources without having to follow civil rights protections that every public school must honor. It is yet another attack on the public school funding in North Carolina. I assume that you might finally have reached a breaking point. Why didn't 15 years of slowly bleeding the life out of our public schools not set off alarm bells? Why didn't the obscene amounts of public funds being diverted through vouchers to the few at the expense of the many cause you to demand an accounting from Senator Moffett and Representatives Balcom and Johnson? You should not ignore the implications of this loss of support for our public schools and the additional risk to our most vulnerable students. It is with a real sense of sorrow for the damage that will be done to our families and our community that I, along with my colleagues, neighbors, and friends, implore you to recognize your duty to serve and protect our schools, our teachers, and especially our children. It certainly appears at this point that we have miscalculated your willingness to speak publicly on their behalf. Perhaps November will be the time for voters to relieve the majority here and in Raleigh of the responsibilities that they have failed to fulfill. Thank you.
Chair Silvius.
Good afternoon. Today, I'm going to read a quote that I read about the Super Bowl halftime show. And it said, "No universe is it okay to sing degenerate, sexually explicit lyrics in front of children. Stop normalizing this." And this is the same thing that I've been saying about the sexually explicit books and books with the multiple sexual orientations that should not be in the media centers of our schools. We do need to stop normalizing behavior that is harming our youth. Some people said that the message of this at the Super Bowl show ended with unity, as Bad Bunny held a football up that said, "Together we are America." But this is the problem. It seems the message from the imagery, the choreography of the performance, the message that was in the music, even though, unless you spoke the language that he sung from, this was not compatible with "Together We Are America." When you have a song that says, and he used the full out word, "Let the ones I effed smile." I've got a Colombian, a Mexican, one in San Antonio, another in PR, another in the Dominican, and another in Barcelona. It's not appropriate. A lot of the other verses in those songs were much worse. The songs that were sung were filled with vulgarity, sexually explicit words, and it was very evident by the movement of the dancers, the lack of clothing. That is not a message of the United States uniting, nor is it a message that we want our youth to receive. This is why our Christian faith in the United States of America makes a difference in morality. We desire to give our children hope. We desire to give them honorable integrity, godly character. I'm very grateful this morning to hear and see these young gals and boys speak with integrity, and that's the message we want to continue giving. And so we want to get all the dirt out. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Sheila Clendenning.
Thanks a lot. I recently had to renew my United States passport. So when the expired copy was returned to me, I found in it an interesting quote by Anna Julia Cooper, a name with which I was unfamiliar.
So the quote so inspired me and encouraged me, I decided to find out more about her. I learned that she was born in 1858 in Raleigh, North Carolina, the daughter of an enslaved woman who had been impregnated by her slave owner. At the age of 9, following emancipation, Anna was offered a scholarship at an Episcopal school in Raleigh for formerly enslaved youngsters. She later went on to become a math and science tutor, a teacher, a school principal, a published author, a public speaker, and she eventually earned a doctorate in Latin at the Sorbonne in Paris. I bring Anna Julia Cooper to your attention tonight during Black History Month because I hope this small glimpse into her rich and fascinating life story will not only inspire you and others to learn more about her, but most importantly, to emphasize that however humble or difficult one's circumstances, it is the fulfilled promise of an education. The fulfilled promise of an education that so very often makes it possible for one to achieve excellence. The North Carolina Constitution offers such a promise to all of our children. The North Carolina General Assembly, however, is not only neglectful of fulfilling that promise, but it has wrought outright damage to our public schools. One obvious example, of course, is its diversion of our public funds to the so-called opportunity scholarships. I urge you and everyone else in our community, as have many others in recent months, to speak out loudly and publicly to our elected representatives in Raleigh and demand that they take immediate steps to reverse the current destructive trend that weakens our public schools. Anna Julia Cooper, if you're unfamiliar with her like I was, I hope you'll research and agree with me that the quote, which is no longer in my new 2026 passport, that quote is indeed intriguing. I'm not going to say what it is for you. You have to look it up. Thank you.
Paul Weichelbaum, did I butcher that?
Close enough. Good evening. I wholeheartedly trust that the curriculum developments undertaken by Mo Green, the North Carolina Superintendent of Public Instruction, and by Henderson County Schools are valuable. The trust concerns reading skills and language learning, mathematics, the sciences, curriculum elements that are theoretically non-controversial. That trust also concerns history and social sciences, literature, music, all of the arts, which maybe are controversial. At the same time, I understand that the Henderson County Board of Public Education supports the major objectives of public education as defined in Board Policies 3100 and 3200. Those objectives are achievable when providing a supportive learning environment in which a diverse community of students can learn, practice, and sustain the skills that promote lifetime reading, mathematics, and science core capabilities for a full life, as well as the strong core civics values that support the founders' ideals, as over time they have been made more inclusive of the whole of the American community. I also want to trust that the board will stand firm when badgered by the out-of-control presidential administration in Washington, knowing that this administration recruits Border Patrol and Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents with the promise that they will, quote, defend our culture, unquote. What culture? Defended against what other culture? Aside from the call to pernicious ignorance, the slogan Defend Our Culture is a call to stamp out culture disfavored by the current administration, which would exclude the creative, diverse, original, and expressive cultures that continue to enrich America. The board can resist the stamping out of all those things that Donald Trump and Project 2025 hate, including the rule of law, which is an irreplaceable part of American culture. In fact,
Defend our culture is the savage cry of pogroms. If you don't know what that is, look it up. And of fear, hatred, and violence, which one would expect everyone in this room to reject. Unfortunately, defend our culture is also the rallying cry, implicitly, of some who distort history by claiming that America is a Christian nation, was established as a Christian nation. The 9th commandment out of 613 in the Hebrew Bible says, "You shall not bear false witness." Let's stick with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Kathy Johnson?
Hello. I'm here today to express my concern over the fact that there are many books in our public libraries and our school libraries that contain graphic descriptions of sexual acts, including rape and sodomy. I've read passages in some of these books that are absolutely disgusting and should not be available to children of any age. Reading such materials steals the innocence of our children and makes them more vulnerable to abuse by desensitizing them to such behaviors. If any parent actually wants to expose their children to this type of material, they can purchase the books on Amazon. I believe that many parents would be shocked to see what is in some of these books. I know I was. I know that the parents, they're not perusing the libraries. They don't know what's in there. I certainly do not want any of my tax money going to purchase sexually deviant and sexually explicit material for our children. I do believe that you serve as school board members because you care about the children of Henderson County. I don't believe that any of you would want your children or grandchildren exposed to some of the material that is in those books. It is horrific. And so I'm asking that you take strong action to do whatever you can to get these materials out of the schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Chris Berry?
My name is Chris Berg, and my concern is roughly equivalent to that of Paul Wexelbaum, a concern about the federal administration and its attitude toward culture, whatever that might be in America. I do want to direct the attention of this board to the responsibilities of its guidance counselors, because we do see that the Department of Homeland Security, which publicized some of this speech about culture, is in massive recruiting efforts, has doubled its field force in the last year, and will continue to do extensive recruiting. And I urge you to support the guidance counselors of Henderson County Schools in supporting the children to understand this concern and the issues it may raise. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair will entertain a motion on consent agenda.
I move we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have no old business, so we will move on to new business. A, action, reassignment tuition for out-of-county acceptances. Mr. Taylor?
Good afternoon, Board. Each year, we reevaluate the tuition rate for students who are in Henderson County from out of county. And we base this off of the Henderson County's local current expense per student. And so today I bring to you the adjustment that would align with that as it has in the past. And so this adjustment would raise the tuition rate for the 2026-2027 school year from $2,580 to $2,700. And so I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have regarding this fee.
When was the last time we raised it?
Each year,
We do
it
each
goes up, yes. And so, in working with Mr. Socia in our finance department, we calculate what that expense per student is that comes from Henderson County commissioners in terms of the budget that they allot us each year. And so that has gone up each year, at least in my 5 years in this position. Any other questions?
I think it's good for the public to understand that on this number, it is just the flat number that we get received from the county, and we just pass that along.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is action on contracts and purchases in excess of $90,000. Mr. Socia?
Good afternoon. I just have one for you this evening. It is with CDWG. It is time to update the 1,200 wireless access points that provide Wi-Fi to all of our facilities. We bought these, I think, back in 2021 was the last time, and they are due for an update very soon. And as it's mentioned in here, we are using E-rate funding to get this done, so which means that 80% will be of this $1.2 million is covered through E-rate, and if we use their procedures to get the selection for the devices, the other 20% will also be covered by the state. So,
Which means we will do that. Make sure
that is what we have done, and that is why this purchase for CDWG is before you now. So essentially, out of pocket directly from us, it will not cost us anything, but it is slightly over $90,000, and I bring it here for you to approve that so that Grant and his team can do this. We won't actually place the order until the new money, the cycle begins July 1, but we have to get this up now because it's 1,200 wireless access points that we need to get ordered.
And each of those devices costs $1,000.
For the whole,
I mean, 1,200 times.
yeah, for the devices, for the
$1.1
getting them,
million
everything,
is
getting them
$1,000.
here, yeah, all the installation, everything that
It also
inclusive.
covers, there's software that goes with it on the back end, but it also covers, like Bruce Drysdale had a lightning incident recently and it took out some of them. We sent them back, they shipped us new ones, good to go, so it covers that as well.
Do we initially pay and we get reimbursed, or they cover it from the beginning and we never have to touch that?
There will be a slight pass-through for the 20% piece, if I remember it correctly, but the other part, we don't have to worry about.
So it's just a nice, simple process.
Yeah, we will get the money allotted to us to be able to do it, so we're not fronting it per se.
Anyone else have any questions?
I just want to say that I went through this website and it's layer by layer by layer of information, as well as the email that was sent. I did notice the word estimate, which, kind of like, I understand what an estimate is, and then you look at the figures and you're like, so it's quite a ticket, but it's got to be done. So we have to do that.
5 years.
Is it
Well, the good news is, we're not having to pull it out of our pocket.
Not out of our pocket.
Which is important to note that Grant and his team do an excellent job of managing E-rate, which is not always the most pleasurable thing to have to manage and go through on the federal side. And what that allows is we get a much better rate, and we also get this funding. So there's a lot of work on the back end, both in finance and from the technology department, to have it ready to move forward so that you're not having to come off of state or local dollars to do this.
Yeah, we're not paying for it, but they're doing a lot of work on their end to get the E-rate funding.
Thank you.
So one thing that I did find on the website was, hey, looky here, there's a nice little article that says, 7 helpful ways to use data to combat chronic absenteeism. So. Yeah, it really is. It's a layer by layer. I mean, you could just literally spend days in here. So thank you for all the work that you do on that, and for presenting it so well, and for doing research and it not coming out of our pocket.
Anything else? Okay, Chair will entertain a motion.
I move that the Henderson County Board of Public Education approve the CDW-G purchase as presented.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we will move down to Board Superintendent reports. Capital update, Mr. Taylor.
Good afternoon again. For this month's capital update, as always, I'll start with projects that are being managed within the school system side. And so first, the phone system transition. Again, that is touching all of our sites district-wide, some more so than others, to transition to VoIP. That continues to be in progress. We are still awaiting AT&T to release the final batch of numbers so that transition can take place. So once they release it, then we'll be good to go and finish up that project. At East Henderson, the board approved for a water cutoff valve to be installed, so there is a nice convenient place to cut that water off if there is an issue on that campus. And so we're working with an engineer to design the type of valve that needs to be installed so that we can get a permit from the city. Our plan is to do that work, though, over the summer, just in case if there is an issue in doing that work, that we do not disrupt school in any way. The bridge replacement at Rugby, as was mentioned last month, we do have the funds to begin that project, so we're working with an architect to begin the design work on that, to officially design it so that then it can go out for bid. At West Henderson, for this year, the board approved for the air handler unit upgrade in the auditorium. And so that work is in progress where certain components on the inside, like the blower, for example, are being taken out and replaced with new parts so that that will become a more efficient unit for that space. And then a final one at West Henderson, classroom unit upgrade in X1. The unit that was in there was not functioning at the level it needed to for that space. And so a new unit has been ordered, and that should be installed here in the next couple of weeks. As we look at MRTS projects, again, with the bus garage, those site surveys continue. They're about to wrap up. Last week, we had the selection committee meeting for the RFQ for the construction manager at risk. And so that should be presented to the county commissioners at their mid-month meeting for them to approve a construction manager. And then later this week, we are going to take a visit back to the Rutherford bus garage with LS3P to visit so that we can all lay eyes on it together, talk about the things that maybe we would like to do differently here or what works well there. And so we'll visit and then come back here to have a debrief with them. For the Atkinson HVAC system, the engineer that is working with the county on that project supplied DPI with the requested materials. And so now they have everything they need, so we're just waiting on them to give us that stamp of approval. So hopefully we'll have our fingers crossed that that'll come in very soon. The HVAC controls replacement, that project continues going on to where the wire is being pulled at those sites. Again, that project has a finish date of October, so it is a very big project and a lengthy one to get done. Hopefully it'll be done sooner, but again, making good progress there. And then in terms of roofing, we are starting a roofing project at Flat Rock on the F Hall, and then at East Henderson, C Hall, and Media Center. Any questions?
Where are we at with the softball field at HMS?
And so the work is finished there in terms of the repair work on the pipe. The piece that we're waiting, that we got held up on the last 2 weeks because of weather, is getting the sod down. And so this is the week we'll jump right on that because the weather is looking better to have that ready for softball season. But yes, the last 2 weeks, temperature and
Monday.
Yeah, temperature and snow and ice didn't work in our favor.
I know I'm going back to Atkinson, and I know there's only so much you can do, but I mean, it's gonna be 60 this week, then we're gonna have another snow. I mean, really wish that DPI's not putting our kids first.
It's at the point where we need to make a decision as a board to go ahead and spend that money to go ahead and get the project started. It's been 2.5 years.
So you can't do anything without DPI's approval. That's just how they got you locked down. I was able to make a call the last time that got it expedited, and then it got passed back and fixed on our end and back up, so I can make another phone call. One of the advantages of being around for so long.
Can we go over Rugby? I think I have missed something on the bridge replacement. Are we talking?
Pedestrian
Okay,
bridge.
okay.
Yes, so during
I'm
hurricane.
thinking that's our only entrance and exit there, so.
That's a good clarification.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
no,
thank
Probably good for us to clarify.
The pedestrian bridge, that students and families access the athletic field
Yes.
from. It was destroyed during Helene, and so finally all the funds are in place to replace that pedestrian bridge. I'll make sure to add that word.
Well, I was just a clarification, thank
No,
you.
yeah, no, thank you for catching that.
That'll make drop off and pick off interesting,
That would
wouldn't
be
it? Yeah.
Well, we used to cross with a log, you know, so, yep.
Any other questions?
Thank you. Financial statements, Mr. Sosha.
Enjoyed this back and forth with Carl tonight here. Couple reports for you this evening for financial update. Local current expense through January, hard to believe, we're already through January, but revenues are $26,714,000 and expenditures at $22,766,000. I have the relative to last year, so we are up $156,000 on our expenditures and $99,000, or excuse me, on revenues and $99,000 on our expenditures from last year. So we're holding good. We're at 55% of our budgeted expenditures, so that looks good. On the enterprise funds, so through December 31, because we are a month behind because of the way the revenue comes in, child nutrition, our revenues are at $4,472,000 and expenditures at $4,412,000. So we're still at a net positive of $60,000. And as we've been anticipating, this was the month where the first decrease has hit. So it's $144,000 less than it was a month ago. That is capturing the expense of being closed and yet still paying people at Thanksgiving, actually, because the payroll in December caught the Thanksgiving piece.
How are the weather the past 2 weeks going to affect child nutrition?
It will not help us, but given the operation of losing while we're operating, it's not a huge hit to us because unfortunately for the employees, hourly employees, we're in session, so our payroll is not going to be affecting. What we're going to be out is there were some food that expired because we were not serving it to the kids. We were not open to serve the kids. So there's an expiration of some food loss at the schools so that we have that expense that we won't have been able to recoup serving the lunches. But that will be the biggest impact for us.
Good.
Is there anything, since we were under a state of emergency, to try to recoup some of that?
They have not, I mean, there's no insurance for it because that was just the weather. Had the power been out for a long time, we would have had maybe something. But so far, they have not offered anything up because it's not going to be as big impactful for them.
So we were only out of power at one school for about 24 hours, but it wasn't enough because our freezers will hold longer than that. So you didn't lose any food due to your power outage or your utility issue. It's all just because we weren't in school and expirations.
Just West?
Western Rugby did not have power. Rugby has a generator to help. West does not.
And it was cold. So the buildings just got colder, so the food lasted. But all in all, I mean, the decrease happened later, we've lasted longer than we thought, so the changes we've been making have definitely been showing up. So, like I said, we'll see where we are next month. On the child care side, revenues at $594,000 and expenditures of $638. So we are at a negative for the year halfway through at $44,000. But that is $111,000 better than we were last year. So again, those changes we've made are showing up, and we have slowed the decline down to just $1,000 from where we were a month ago. So their program is shifting to the positive side now. We'll hopefully see a continuation of that. Again, though, we'll have to wait and see the impact of the closures because they had a couple days that they were able to do some services, but for the most part, they were closed as well. So
But you're not paying for them at that
we're
point.
not paying for them, so
And then those parents typically had to pay a week ahead of time, right?
they pay the week ahead.
So how does that work?
Well, the 1 week that we were completely closed, they would not have, if they had paid, they will not be.
That just goes to the
they will-
next week that
correct.
they're there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I just want to say, our people who are in charge of these programs, Stephanie and our child care people too, they are working hard. They are trying to do everything they can do to cut costs, maintain expenditures. It's not for a lack of them trying everything under the sun to do what they can possibly do. So I appreciate their efforts. I know it's constantly on their minds, on feeling that weight and shouldering the weight of it. And I just want to say I appreciate everything that they do. And Bernie, that you guys do as well.
Well, yeah, no,
Support them.
it's just the work they're doing. They're leading that charge, so I'm just reporting it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, the fall testing update, Dr. Marlowe?
I always like it when we get to have good news about testing. So we actually got to have a fun fall when you think about the fact that this year we were able to do retesting in the fall before the kids left for the semester break. And I don't know if you remember, within the last year, that's been an update that's changed. The only testing that didn't fall exactly under that is English 2 scores, and that is only because not all of those were back before the kids left for break, so they had to do those retests after. And the data I'm going to show you is all high schools except Hendersonville High School, because of course they're on a year-long schedule instead of a block schedule. So you'll see the 4 areas that were tested. Those are our end-of-course areas. And the light pink column are the scores that students received before retesting took place. You'll see in the next column that this was the increased percentage for each area, and then our final scores are on the far right in the darker red. So those are pretty strong scores. We were very, very happy with those. Principals were really happy with those. Your next question then is probably, how does that compare to previous years? So if I can get this thing to work, there we go. So again, the dark pink, that is this past fall, and then you can see 24, 23, and 22. Now, granted, 24, we did have a little thing called Helene, so that was a little bit of a challenge, but there was still not really discernible difference between most of those scores in the 2 previous years, but there was a nice bounce this year. So we are feeling like this is a good path to continue on. We just wanted to let you know how things were rolling along before we get to the end of the year. Questions?
Dr. Marlowe, what do the schools, do you attribute this nice bounce?
Well, a couple of things. One, I do think that the ability to be able to retest before the kids leave or while things are still fresh on their mind, I think that makes a big difference. I also think that schools have spent the last few years really focusing in on some intentional planning We've talked a lot about lesson planning, high-yield strategies. We've been trying to really give specific feedback. We do instructional rounds. We've had teachers reach out. We've had some good, solid professional development days. I think all of those things have contributed to teachers feeling like they can get what they need done with students in the time that they've been given. And then I think there's just a nice little momentum going now of how they're feeling about their standards and being able to create lessons and tasks for kids that match what they feel like kids are going to be assessed on when it comes to those EOCs.
Our schools are also working together well across the district when we're talking about in those 4 subject areas about some folks that are getting some really high growth and how they can leverage that, some folks that are working well with some subgroups over others, and how we can glean that, kind of putting a repository of some strong lessons and some strong approaches there. And then our high school principals are working really well together, talking about what advantages they're seeing with strategies or what advantages they're seeing through scheduling and how they're scheduling and who they're putting in those courses, not from a student standpoint, but also from a teacher standpoint. So being very strategic with alignment.
Those math scores have jumped significantly.
We also, over the last 4 years, I guess, have made sure that we have curriculum guides in every area, and that's every area. So these K-12. So our instructional coaches are consistently getting feedback on those, tweaking those. We make changes where needed. When the standards change, they're making changes to those as well. But I think the ability to be able to work between schools has been more powerful because we now have consistent curriculum guides across the district.
So my question is with like English 2, I mean, am I the only one that kind of feels like that seems a little low for an English, like a sophomore English class? Like, is there, I don't know, because it's only, 3% from 2022? Are we missing something with English? Like,
Is it on new test this?
We had, no. The new standards, so that's basically the end of these standards. We have new standards that are going to, well, I guess they just entered technically the installation year. They'll keep those for 2 years before they have an implementation year. So they are finishing out those standards. The test is still testing the old standards though. So we're still working off the current standards. But that actually, it sometimes depends on who is choosing to take the class in the fall versus in the spring. So remember, this is just fall that we're looking at. And then you've got kids who will take it in the spring too, and then it culminates into one score for the year. So this is just fall.
You're also missing Hendersonville High School, so it's a snapshot without them. The other piece is if you look at where the district was stronger for several years, it was English 2. So you have been stronger there over the history, and those math scores have been a little bit lagging. So it has kind of maintained that consistency.
But when you look at English 2 and biology, both of those are typically 10th grade courses. There's not a huge gap between 1.3% more.
No, they're definitely trending in the right direction, and that's what we're trying to.
Now, are we satisfied? No.
Biology has been the big one. Biology been a tough one.
Well, and that is off new standards. So last year was the first year with the brand new standards. I do think, because you don't have a ton of those teachers in each school, I think the ability for them to be able to collaborate and have professional learning communities across the schools and working with the coaches has made a difference in that area.
Now, before the calendar changed, was there a significant difference in the testing in the spring versus the fall, if the testing was done after Christmas break?
I cannot, well, that would be, trying to think.
Well, it should be
That would just be last year, fall of
23.
'24.
We were on the early start 2 years.
This is our
All of
second year.
2022.
Yeah, but we had the hurricane last year.
This is the first early start year that we've had a full semester without a big weather interruption. What I call a boring semester. This is a boring weather semester, which I like boring weather semesters. And so this is your first fall testing with the current calendar without a major weather disruption.
So I'll shamelessly plug, those are really good.
Yeah.
I'd like to obviously see that continue, but we've got some elections coming up, and some of our soon-to-be legislatures, I hope, take notice of this, that if our grades and maybe some other grades from other schools, where they have this first true, session. I said last year with the hurricane was so hard on the kids, but these numbers are really good. So kudos to our kids, our teachers, everybody.
They've all been working really hard. And I think the ability to be able to do the retesting before they left really had an impact on them.
Sure.
Did we have computer breakdown? Was it last year? Was it last year we had some outages?
I don't think it was for EOC. I'm trying to think back. I don't think it was for EOCs. I think it was
End of the
ACT.
year.
I think ACT was the one that really, yes. And that was nationwide, if I'm remembering correctly. Any other questions?
Nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you want to see somebody busy during testing time, Grant and his team are very busy during testing time because it all has to be online now. And I don't know that everybody realizes that when we talk about devices and the value of devices. We have to test online now by the state.
Okay, instructional hour update. What all the students want to hear.
So I tried to capture this in one document as well as I could, and just kind of wanted to give everyone an update, especially you as the board, but also the public, where we stand, because you hear from different people, we have to add days. Well, we have to add days. Do we have to go on Saturdays? You have to add to the end of the year. So just a quick little overview. As the requirements from the state of North Carolina, we have to do 1,025 instructional hours. A quick reminder that that is not from the time you walk into school to the time you leave school, or time you get on the bus to you get off the bus. That's truly the time that they spend in instructions. You have to back out transition, you back out cafeteria, different things like that. So conservatively, we use a 6-hour day. Elementaries do a little bit more than a 6-hour day. Middle schools do a little bit more than a 6-hour day. But our 3 high schools that are on block schedule, 4 counting the early college and 5 counting career academy, do 90-minute periods 4 times. That's 360, so that's 6 hours. So this year we had 179 student days approved on our calendar. That is 1,074 hours. They changed it from days to hours several years ago. So what adjustments have we had to make? So we have missed 8 student days due to inclement weather. First time in a long time you've missed that many. And I think people are out of shape about that because people are getting cranky, but that's just how it goes.
We don't want our kids at home.
But well,
I'm going to be honest.
let that set in for a minute, yes.
Listen, I'm honest.
As we have the 12,300 rolling around every day. We took care of 5 of those with remote learning days. The state allows all districts to use up to 5 remote learning days unless you get a weather waiver. We do not qualify for a weather waiver. If we did, you could get 15 days. I really don't want to do 15 days of remote learning. It's just not as good. It's just not the same. So the 5 remote learning days, we tried to sprinkle in and be strategic with them. But that allowed us to not count those, that allows us to count those 30 instructional hours. We did 3 days with no instruction. So we have a net loss right now of 26 instructional hours due to weather. That's 20 hours due to missed days and 1 2-hour delay. So that's 22 hours. We, I can do that right? Yeah, I did my math a little wrong, but that's okay. It's 28 hours, but 3 hours are for early release. That's what we've missed right now. So we've missed, and then there's 3 hours that are scheduled for the last of the year, the last day of the year is an early release day. So we have to take those off. So your early release before Christmas and your early release on the last day. So that's a net loss of 6 so we have a net loss of 6 as well due to converting March 3rd to a non-student day. That's the primary day. So at current, what we're scheduled for to complete by the end of the year will be 1,042 instructional hours. That's 17 hours above the minimum. So that's 2 days and 5 hours. Now, one option and one of my recommendations, if you agree, would be to convert March 13th from an optional work day to a student day to recapture 6 of those hours. That is the day before spring break. They have the spring break right after the week following. If we do that, that puts you at your total scheduled instructional hours at 1,048. That's 23 hours above the minimum. That gives you a little bit more buffer as we still sit here on February the 9th. We have been very, very lucky through the winters the last, well, probably the last 5 or 10 years. But this year we have, again, struggled just because we had so much ice and it extended out. We had the cold weather and then we had the snow that hit on top of that. So that is where we currently are. If you do nothing, we would be at 1,042 and keeping everything the same for the remainder of the year. If we do convert March 13th from an optional workday to a student day, that allows you to be at 1048, which gives you just a little more breathing room. If something were to happen in the spring and you go over, one of the good things about the calendar that we're on now is we could add on to the end of the year and still be out by June. But that would not be, I don't think, anyone's preference, and is not what I'm requesting. But what I would like is to look at that March 13th day and make that decision tonight so that we can communicate that to everyone ahead of time. Questions?
Yeah, it's gonna rain this weekend.
They're saying on the line, on the Tennessee, North Carolina line, so. And Transylvania got a surprise one today. Yeah, they did. Down in Roswell, yep.
I mean, I think it's the smart thing to do is to add those. I mean, people that already have plans scheduled, they're going to go anyway. But I mean, a lot of our families are here, and that's just an extra.
Without converting that day, anything else you would have to, if you do go over, not saying that you will, but if you did go over, you would have to add to the end of the year.
Right now, when is the last day? What day of the week is the last day?
Before Memorial Day.
Friday before?
Friday.
We'd have to go across Memorial Day.
Yes.
No,
you'd have to-
not necessarily, right? Isn't Memorial Day the weekend after? It's that Monday.
Early this year.
Yeah, so then we'd have to, what, come back that Tuesday?
It's early this year.
Yeah, well, and I think it should
It's
be
on the
noted,
25th.
I think you've looked at some other dates as well as potential. I know we've got PD on the 20th for the teachers. To reschedule that would push them all the way back out to like the fall, I think, to get all those people back in. Then we have Election Day that we opted to take off for security and safety reasons of the kids. You know, I don't know that we want to add that one.
This is really just the,
What if we held it harmless, and if we did have a snow day, that's the day that we're coming back? That March 3rd.
So basically, you're saying
March
students,
3rd.
it wouldn't count against
Just
them as an
notice
absence.
parents
Right,
that
no,
maybe.
the
13th?
Or whatever date that you have there.
Yeah,
13th.
March
Yeah.
13th.
13th. So instead of saying, yes, you know, we're converting it to a day now, you know, because that's spring break, that's start of spring break, that just let everybody know if we have any more inclement weather, that's the first day that we're going to take.
So that's an optional day right now. It's not the start of spring break. It essentially is, but
Well,
we've
kids
got
aren't in
spring
school.
break scheduled to where you don't have to mess with the days in spring break.
Yeah.
We've got those set with annual leaves and no days in there where families know now we will not take any spring break days.
But is that something we would have to do in like an open session meeting?
No, what you,
Could we do
you could authorize me to change it.
Yeah,
Okay. I was just worried if we had to leave it till March 9th. that
Right.
wouldn't
No, yeah, I mean, you could leave it to him.
I think the people who have plans now are gonna have I mean,
But then that hurts them, right? So that's gonna hurt them if we
Right.
add that day. Then
Do you have out of town plans?
I don't.
I'm like you, I would rather wait.
I would.
I would hate to
See
take
if
it
we
if
need
it magically
Yeah.
didn't snow
Like,
anymore.
if you let people know that, hey, this is the plan. If it snows again, if we're out of school, we have no more remote days that we can use,
Correct.
right? The first day that we're gonna come back is we're gonna use March 13th. After that, we're coming back the Tuesday after Memorial Day, the Wednesday after Memorial Day, the Thursday after Memorial Day, the Friday after Memorial Day.
So do you want to say,
5 hours.
right,
And you've got
got
you know,
17.
two days of lead time, essentially.
you got 17, so would you want us to communicate, because we want to communicate this very clearly.
yeah.
I mean, that would be my preference, but I'm down for whatever.
So there's a couple of options that let's talk through. One would be, we have 2 days to play with. On the third missed day, we would take March 13th, if you want to get that close. Or do you want to say if we miss one more, then that date will move to March 13th?
I would think if you missed a day, you take that 13th. And
Yeah.
then we
So
start
if we
looking
miss
at
an
the end of
additional
the-
day,
Because then we could possibly have stuff in March. I
yes,
mean,
ma'am. You
weirder
can.
things.
Blizzard of 93 came in March.
Yeah, the good thing about March and April snows, they don't lay there for a week.
That's true.
March 13th, to be exact.
Well,
So we might be out anyway. I would just like to know what you're comfortable with as far as the closeness of the hours so that we can communicate that. The last thing I want to do is spring it on somebody last minute.
Well, it helps our teachers plan too, because, I mean, on top of what they already do, you know, our teachers are also our club teachers. They are our coaches. They are, I mean, they have a lot and they've missed a lot. One of the things from one of the teachers was, yes, we had remote learning days, which I think most parents would agree they're glad we're done with those because, I mean, they're not helpful. I mean, they help us with days, but it still puts these kids behind. And these teachers are desperate. I mean, they've got 8 days that they have got to figure out how to get these kids caught up before testing comes anyway. So, I mean, giving our teachers as much time to plan, I think, is the more important thing, because parents who are already leaving that Friday for spring break are going to do it no matter what, and there's nothing you can do about that. So I would like to give our teachers as much opportunity to be planning for that as possible.
Of course, a lot of our staff could have plans as well to be out of town.
Well, we try to make sure they understand that it's the
Oh.
spring break week that we're not going to touch.
right.
We never
Not that
touch.
day before.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see that there's a problem in doing like what Blair's saying, where we, communicate, hey, if we have another weather event, that's going to be a school day. I definitely don't want to take the 2 days, you're saying we have roughly 2 more days, and then plan for another day. I would just take that to begin with.
Well, anything that happens past March 13th,
It's end of the
you're
year.
adding to the end of the year.
Yeah.
And we have that.
Unless you want to go on
calendar,
Memorial
shows
Day.
it
Yeah.
On there as a potential snow recovery day or whatever. So that would be my preference.
Well, I can ocho dos ocho that. So.
I'm sure.
I'm ready for it.
I'm good with that.
If we don't make T-shirts that says Ocho Dos Ocho, like.
I'd like a.
I actually think you
You
should
can't
have
hear the country
sombrero.
accent on the t-shirt.
That's right.
Sombrero away, make
Said
it
in East Tennessee slang in parentheses. So for clarity, and I love to do this
Yeah,
with the
that's-
board. So for clarity, what I'm hearing is leave March 13th right now. The next day we miss for weather, convert March 13th to a student day.
And we give you that authority to go ahead and make that call immediately, that's.
Well, what I will do is during that call, remind everybody then and multiple times.
Right.
We'll also put it in the newsletter so the staff will know that everything is the same on the calendar for now in the spring. Should we miss an additional
Day. Now,
full
if we
day?
miss additional days, they will be added to the end of the school.
Well, as long as we're at 10:25, we're okay.
Yeah, I mean,
But
we're
if
gonna have
you-
to play with it at that point.
Right.
I'm just playing devil's advocate. Between the tropical storms and everything we've had recently, is it not smarter to just go ahead and claim it? I mean, if you've got your plans, you're going on vacation, do it. But, as soon as we say no, it's going to be March 14th, and then we're screwed when something happens. It's probably.
Well, we would be anyway.
But we've got the 225 out.
We do,
That's,
but we've had more stuff recently. I mean, and I'm with you.
Well,
as
you've
far as
got-
not taking,
you've
but if
got
we wait too
17
long,
hours.
We don't have it.
Well, and that's me. I think we give our teachers as much time to plan and if they're as possible, with as much as they're behind now
The
anyway.
other option that you would have would be Good Friday.
what?
Good Friday would be an option to make that a
And that's
school
April
day.
what? April 3rd. Do you have any more DPD days in there after that?
No. So before the end of the calendar year, you got March 13th, you got Good Friday, and you got Memorial Day.
Well, and after March 13th, we'll know if we're going to need, if anything happens in March, we have April 3rd to play with, but.
I would like to just give it to you to be able to make that determination if we miss school, and then after that, we go to the end of the year and we tack on, well, we add a full day for the 22nd, pick up some hours, right?
We could.
That'd be the first thing. And then you'd have to go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, potentially that Friday.
Right.
If we had a huge snow event, that gives us 4, 5, 6, 7 days that you can actually miss a
So
school
we don't need all.
Without going into June.
without going into June.
And I'd prefer before we add on to after Memorial Day, taking that Good Friday, because I feel like there's a lot of our families that have seniors that their parents have already bought plane tickets in, et cetera, rented venues. I mean, I know we can only worry about what we can worry about, but
And Memorial Day, we have to take Veterans Day by law, not Memorial Day, correct?
yeah, but I'm not voting for Memorial Day. We did that once and we were crucified.
Well, I'd say look at your community partners too, because if I'm not mistaken, Good Friday is also a holiday. So your
Is it?
SROs are gonna be getting double time.
Oh, wow.
So it's something just to think about for community partners, which they would be there. I don't think there's any question with that, but when we're in budget season, you know, them paying us more, they may not like that as much.
Okay.
I hadn't thought about that.
I was thinking it was Monday.
See how easy this is?
I know.
Well, I agree, giving you just the freedom to go, okay.
Yeah, we'll make you the bad guy.
I'm used to it.
But I mean, it makes sense, just to do what needs to be done, and then after March 13th, then we just move ahead with whatever.
And we'll meet by
absolutely
then.
necessary.
So is it your consensus as a board that we don't touch this calendar right now? The next missed day will convert March 13th, and then we'll move forward after that.
Yes.
You have a majority. I'm not for
think
that,
you
but
and
I
I
think
are
you have a
outvoting.
majority.
But let me just say this.
Okay.
Because we've already put that out there, the teachers will already, they can be extra prepared, right? I mean, they'll have it, they can prepare ahead of time. And
Well, nobody's going to love it.
They get
It's
more-
the,
they get more.
it's the more leeway or the more notice you can give people, it tends to help.
How would you get this information out to our families? Are you gonna?
The beginning
You
of
must not
fall.
get those emails and those phone calls and that text message that just
We'll
blow you
saturate.
up.
what's the number?
We're gonna be
With 3
reminded.
kids, I get nine reminders.
Can we,
Text,
as a
email,
board,
And phone
social
call.
media.
and I'm asking because I don't know. So say we make 13th a day, people already have plans. I know previously we've held people harmless when they didn't understand the rule of they had to actually come to school, which blows my mind. Could that day be one that we hold harmless? I get it, nobody may be there, but as a school system, we have made it a day, it counts as the hours. So they
I
would
don't
be,
love that, but can we, I mean, we can talk to our high school principal. It's really your
I
high
mean, I
school
get it,
principals.
my kid's gonna be, it's already gonna pass around, oh yeah, your mom said we'd have to go to school, but, you know, if we're doing right, we're trying to get the hours, and that would cover some folks.
I know our schools have always worked with families. And
The thing is, like, since I've been on this board, the reason that we've done hours is exactly this situation. We always have that buffer built in for stuff like this, and that's why we did it. So, use it.
Yeah, I agree. So yes,
We can raise our hands and see who's in favor and
ocho
who's
dos
not.
ocho it.
I think you got the vote.
I'm just really confused at this point.
So the two options,
Do you want to
So-
keep the
so I'm gonna-
13th or as off?
if I can make a recommendation, you need to choose between two options. You need to convert March 13th now, or with one more day missed, we would convert March 13th to a student day. It doesn't change the length of the school year. It doesn't change the teacher calendar, the 215-day, 10-month calendar. It's just getting those 6 hours back. So if we miss another 6, we would add the 6 back, or you can add them back now. That would be my recommendation, one of those two.
We don't have to necessarily vote on it, but if you're comfortable with waiting until we have another event,
If,
just indicate. Are you
I'm
comfortable?
good for waiting.
1, 2, 3,
Blair?
Blair, 4, 5. Okay, so yeah, you have a consensus.
so we'll get that communication out.
Okay.
Yeah, I just think parents and families need to know what the deal is.
Communicate better than we just did.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it is.
I tried.
I mean, I think we care, you know, and we hear a lot at the end of the school year, people don't want to add it. As you said, people have already bought their tickets. So I don't want to take any risk of moving past Memorial Day. To me, that's important to me. I don't want to do that for our families, and so.
Correct.
I just know with all the weather we've had, it will be after March 13th and we won't have a day. And so that's what scares me. So, but I get it, one day and waiting, you know.
Okay.
Clear as mud. Let's go. You can stay up there and say all this.
Oh, yeah, general operations. He's going to do it.
Creature habit.
Okay, give us the good stuff.
All right, Madam Chair, members of the board, it's my pleasure to share the superintendent report this month. So February is National Black History Month, Love the Bus Month. We're always looking for bus drivers. All you out there, we're looking for bus drivers. And Career and Technical Education Month. We did receive word last week that North Carolina has record credentialing across their CTE, and waiting to see what the Henderson County numbers are there and how we have grown. Kindergarten registration is open right now. You can get online and register your child for kindergarten for the 26-27 school year. Ready to Shine, class of 2039. I did not make that up, by the way, but it is pretty awesome. That came from our communication department, so, and it's just always fun to say class of 2039 is when that graduating class will be. February 15th is our School Resource Officer Appreciation Day. Captain Cantwell, we appreciate him every day, but that is the official day that we're going to appreciate him. So look forward to seeing what our schools do there. And we have such great partnerships from both of the agencies we work with our school resource officers. Cannot say enough good about them. February 19th is our budget work session at 9 o'clock here in the boardroom. That's next Thursday morning. We'll have a few things for you to eat about 8:30 or so come on in, and then the actual work session will begin at 9. February 20th is Required Teacher Work Day. That's our District Professional Development Day. How many pages is the professional development options document that they can choose from?
I think it's 65 now.
65 pages worth of sessions that our teachers can choose from, and a vast majority of those sessions are offered by their peers. And the leadership team is all doing a session, different sessions, so I'm sure those will be the least popular, but we are offering them. Arts in Our Schools Month will be March. March 1st through 7th is our School Social Worker Week. March 2nd through the 6th is National School Breakfast Week. March 4th will be our next round of school tours, and we hope those will not be weathered out like this past round was. And we'll go to Edneyville Elementary, Etowah Elementary, and North Henderson High School. And then on March 9th is your next regular meeting at 4 o'clock here, with closed session beginning at 3. And that is what I had to share for this month.
Thank you. All right, Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.